So these are the notes for 5.4, and we're going to talk about the proportional reasoning strategy. And this is my favorite strategy to solve anything that is like this, that gives you have this divided by this, or it's my favorite way. So it can give you so much information. So let's take a look at this here. So we have 3 over 4, 6 over 8. We want to check if these are proportional. So what we're going to do is we are going to cross multiply. 3 times 8 is 24. And 6 times 8 is 24. Are they balanced? Yes, 24 is 24. So that tells me these are proportional. They are equal to each other. They are balanced. So when we are setting up these problems, we are trying to keep them proportional. So we're going to be trying to lots of times find a missing piece to keep them proportional. So let's take a look here. So we have this problem. It takes Kendra 27 minutes to run 3 miles at that same rate. So right, we want to keep it balanced and proportional. How long will it take to run 7.5 miles? So first we need to decide what are the 2 units we are comparing. So right, we know she's running this many minutes, and she did that for 3 miles. So we've got minutes and miles. Those are the units that we are talking about that we want to keep proportional. So our steps we're going to take is we're going to set up our labels. And these are very important. Like that, step number 1, you have to do that. So we're going to do our minutes here, and we're going to put it over miles. Minutes, miles. Here's my labels. Every time I talk about minutes, it's going to go on the top. Every time I talk about miles, it's going to go on the bottom. So there's my labels. Now I'm going to set up the problem. And we're going to look here. So we know it takes Kendra 27 minutes. Minutes goes on the top, 27 minutes. And again, I'm using that fraction ratio. My favorite way is the fraction to go 3 miles. 27 minutes to 3 miles. 27 to 3 for that rate. 27 minutes to 3 miles. Every time I talk about minutes, it's on the top. Every time I talk about miles, it's on the bottom. So I've started setting up my problem. I've got to keep going. So at that same rate, how long? How long is talking about minutes. So how many minutes is it going to take her to run 7.5 miles? Again, miles goes on the bottom here. So here we have my problem is all set up. All the minutes are on the top. All of the miles are on the bottom. So now we are going to cross multiply. Now this time we are looking for this M. We need to find this M. We don't know what this is. So we're going to cross multiply. We have 3M. 3 times M, but we don't know what that is. And now we're going to do 27 times 7.5. So 27 times 7.5. So go ahead and make sure you do that on your paper with me. So there's 35. 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, placeholder 49. 14 plus 4, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there's 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 10 and 2 and 1 decimal. So we are at 202.5. So we've got 3M here, 202.5 over here. So we want to keep this balanced. So we've talked about the opposite of multiply is to divide. So we're going to divide here. But what we do to one side of an equation, we have to do to the other. So 3 divided by 3 gets rid of this. It's gone on this side. And we're just left with m, which is our minutes. So now we need to do it to this side. So 202.5 divided by 3. So it goes in here 6 times, which is 18. And we're left with 2 and 2. And there is 7. So it goes in there 21 times. 1 left over. Bring down my 5. So it will take her, so m equals, which was my minutes, it will take her 67.5 minutes to run 7.5 miles. So this strategy will work for any problem that it gives you a rate and you're trying to find the other piece of it. So you set up your problem here. What are your 2 labels you have? What is the initial information you know, the 2 parts of the rate, this and this? Make sure they are lined up. What's the missing part you know? Make sure it's lined up on the one you know. What's the other piece you know? Make sure it's lined up. So labels, set up your problem. That part's easy. So then we cross multiply. Here's our new problem. And then we divide because we've got to do the opposite to get rid of that. Because we want the label all by itself. So we divide on both sides and that leaves us with our answer. And that is going to work every single time. Okay, so go ahead and make sure you have completed all of that work for Kendra's problem.